my latest video on our travels. Well, I'm on my travels, and I'm on my travels with a group of guys, yes. Let's have a look. Who have we got? We have got the Meridian Cycling Club. And we have Richard, John, Pete, Dave, Colin and Paul. Now do remember the names, because at the end of the video there's going to be a test with points. And what do points mean? Points mean prizes! Yes, it's the Meridian Cycling Club, and these are the Premiers. The Premiers are the creme de la creme, the top of the rock, the best of the best, the fastest of the fast, the oldest of the old. No, not really. There are in the Meridian Cycling Club a number of different cycling groups, and this is the top of the pile. And to get into the Premiers, you have to go through a very tough initiation process initiated by Richard Bingham, who is the leader, the chief rider of the Premiers.
Well, we took the ferry from Sandbanks over to Studland, rode through Swanage, Worth Matravers, carry on! And now we've reached Corfe Castle, and up ahead are the Meridian Premiers. We're going to descend the hill and then see the great Corfe Castle. Down the hill, there's Colin, one of the Meridian Premiers up ahead, resplendent in the gilet, the Meridian gilet, known as the fruit pastel of gilets, and also like being in the head of a person. Very left, Colin.
Well, we've climbed a steep hill. Took the guys up a couple of steep hills in Swanage, and now we've arrived here at this coffee stop. So we're going to stop here for a cup of coffee. Meridian Prems, as all Meridian groups are, very keen on coffee stops, lunch stops, food stops, pub stops. And normally the Prems stop for a pub lunch, although today we'll be stopping at a restaurant called Clavell's, which is in Kimmeridge in the beautiful Isle of Purbeck. Although I would have to say that the weather today is not exactly what you'd call beautiful. Quite windy, not cold, but certainly cool, and not the high summer that we were perhaps expecting and even thought we deserved. And here the Prems sit, eat coffee, socially distanced, eat coffee, drink coffee, socially distanced, of course, as we must do in these COVID times. If you're interested in joining the Meridian Cycling Club, by the way, Google it. Very nice club. Meet on a Wednesday. Groups for people of all ages, male, female, wherever you are, whatever kind of cyclist you are, there's a group that you can join. Nice company, a pace that suits you, and usually a decent lunch. You have to pay for that, but worth having. Good club.
We've just climbed a 20% hill, Creech Hill, and I wasn't the first, by no means the first. There are 4 people, now 5 people in front of me. That's Paul, Richard, John, Colin and Pete. Here we are, top of Creech Hill. As we can see, the road is closed because the army are on manoeuvres. You see that red flag? The red flag flying. Keep the red flag flying. And now we descend another hill, descending, not ascending this time, to Kimmeridge and Clavell's restaurant where we're having lunch. Well, the Prems have stopped at Clavell's restaurant, a very fine restaurant in Kimmeridge in the Isle of Purbeck, where fine food was consumed. Egg mayonnaise sandwich for me, fish finger sandwich for Dave, smoked salmon and brown bread for John, egg mayonnaise on brown for Pete, sure what Colin had, Richard not sure either, not sure what Paul had. But anyway, food was consumed, drinks were consumed, a toilet stop was taken where I, as it happened, found somebody's wallet in the toilet, not actually in the toilet, but in the toilet, if you know what I mean, but not actually in the toilet. And then went round and asked everybody in the restaurant, were you just in the toilet? And had some very strange looks from people, as if I was accusing them of blocking the toilet, which I wasn't, of course, but just wanted to return the wallet to the correct person, which I did. And he was very grateful. Told me I could have £10 for my trouble. And of course, as I had already taken £10 for my trouble, that left me £20 up on the deal, which I thought was most satisfactory. He wasn't very happy, but then that's what happens if you leave your wallet in the toilet. Not in the toilet, but if you leave your wallet in the toilet. So, now Pete tells us we have about 40k, 25 miles, back to our starting point. A few hills and then mostly flat for the rest of the way, so looking forward to it. And then a little bit on the, what's the word, changeable side. I think changeable, yes, is a good word, which means not very nice in my book. So we left Clavell's, where we had a very nice lunch, and we're now descending these alpine hairpins. That's Dave up ahead. I'm at the back with the camera in my gob. What a fine descent that is. The second time we've done it today. Well, looky here. The sun has come out. Sky is blue, and up ahead the Meridian fruit pastel train weaves its way through the Dorset villages. Pink Grey. Pete is a long-standing member of the Meridian, along with his wife Rosie, and a couple of years ago they made the move to Dorset, and so the Prems, always keen to see an old and valued member, organised this trip to see Pete and Rosie and go for a ride. Nice to see you, Pete and Rosie. And nice to see long-standing members of the Meridian Cycle Club weaving through the English countryside. And so the end of the first day's riding, and you'll want to know the numbers. Can we see there? 62.3 miles, average 14.5, ride time 4 hours 18 minutes and 38 seconds. Fine ride it was, if a little hard. Day 2 of the Meridian Premiers night away, and we're back on the road again, heading towards Shaftesbury, scene of the iconic Hovis advert from a few years ago, which you'll probably remember. Nice, very nice dinner in the pub last night. Alcohol was taken, as Mr. Vashard, late blessed memory, member of the Meridian who was killed tragically in 2016, was often fond of saying. So up ahead, as you can see, the gang are resplendent in a mixture of different Meridian cycling tops. There's John, just gone past me. Ahead of him is Paul, beside him is Dave. In front of him is Richard Bingham, our kind of ride leader, committee member. And at the front, Colin and Pete. Pete Gray, as you know, has moved to Dorset. He's sorted the route for us today, and we're looking forward to another fine day in the saddle. So come with me and enjoy. You see the Wahoo? There's the Wahoo. That number at the top shows my watts. You see that? Look at it rise, look at it fly. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's definitely matter? Well, Oakford Hill, top of, after quite a tough climb, and rewarded with a glorious view and a bin lorry. And if you can see the view there, stretching away into the distance. Apparently from up here, you can see 6 counties, including Suffolk, Norfolk, Northumberland, and on a good day, Cornwall, which is over there, just above Richard's head, where he's taking a photo. So, there's a horse box there. Don't know if there's any horses in it. Maybe the door seems to have shut, so I suspect they shut the door after the horse has bolted. Could be a proverb there. Well, that was you, Richard.
I tell you, I almost on the tarmac.
Well, so we're descending Oak Hill, 20%. I'm not much of a descender, so most of the guys had passed me. That was passed by an elderly couple. They really were elderly, on a tandem. Must have been doing 40 miles an hour. Pair of them, not a day under 80, and no helmets. So, hang on a minute. So we got to the bottom, and I caught them up. I said, chapeau to you going down a 30% climb on a tandem without helmets. And geezer turned to me. He's a broad Lancashire accent, which I can't do, so I won't try and pretend. He said, what good's the helmet going to do? You're going down a 30-mile climb down there. I nearly said to him, I've seen a couple of people killed who weren't wearing helmets, but I refrained. We're now steaming, literally steaming, on our way to Shaftesbury. A fine route this has turned out to be, thanks to Pete. And fine weather too, warm, a little bit windy, heavy cloud. Not blue sky, not sunshine, but very nice. Well, we've reached the famous, the iconic Gold Hill. You'll remember this from the Hovis advert from the 70s or 80s. What is little known is that the cyclist who you see pushing the Hovis barrow up Gold Hill is in fact Chris Boardman. Chris Boardman later went on to be one of our great Olympians and held the hour record for going up Gold Hill, in fact. So do you want to see me attempt this on the bike? Of course you do. Are you going to? Of course you're not. It would be nice to have a go. You've got no chance of any kind of run up. So you've just got to pretty basically from a standing start. You're going up at 20% time, and that is just really not on, is it? So I don't even think I'm going to try. The trouble is, if it's cobbles, these are the famous Paris-Roubaix cobbles. They lifted some of these, transported them to France, and that's Paul there having a go. He's going well. Go Paul, go mate, go on.
You've done it.
So did we attempt Gold Hill? Did we, buggery? Colin did and got up. Paul did and got up. The rest of us, we didn't try. Discretion, we decided, was the better part of Valerie. So we've come up an alternative climb, which I've got to say was pretty hard itself, to the top of Shaftesbury. And here we are, looking out the view over the 9 counties. From here we can see Lancashire, we can see Essex, we can see Kent, we can see almost as far as tomorrow. The famous Gold Hill from the top of the climb, and you'll remember this from that iconic Hovis advert, the little boy pushing his bicycle up the hill. Now, what is a little known fact is that boy was in fact Mark Cavendish, the man who has since gone on to win 33 stages of the Tour de France, soon possibly to be 34, and break Eddie Merckx's record. He was the first person to push a bicycle up Gold Hill loaded with loaves of Hovis. The famous, the iconic, the gruesome, the fearsome Gold Hill, not tackled by me, as I've said. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. I wonder if that old couple would come along and get up it on a tandem without helmets. That would be a sight to see. Yes, I'd pay money for that. And now, as I pan around, we're about to visit this restaurant known as the Salt Cellar. It's called the Salt Cellar because it is a cellar. They have a cellar full of salt. Salt was actually mined in Shaftesbury for 200 years from the basement of this very restaurant. Hence the name. And here is the actual loaf of Hovis that was pushed up the hill by Mark Cavendish on his bicycle all those years ago. And there it is. There is the actual bicycle, the actual street, the actual Mark Cavendish, and as we pull back, the actual loaf of Hovis and Dave Hickman taking a photo as he pushes Chris Hoy up the hill. There's John Baker. Top member of the Meridian Cycling Club, Paul Geraldine, who climbed Gold Hill. Chapeau, Paul. And Colin, chapeau, Colin. And now food will be taken with copious amounts of mined salt. Inside the salt cellar, we look down Gold Hill. It's hard to see really with the old GoPro, but it's there. You just see Colin grinding his way to the top. Now you can see a lady getting off her seat. And so the Meridian Premiers arrive in Shaftesbury and now are ready to partake copious amounts salt and pepper milkshake, speciality of the house. This is the Gold Hill Museum, so called because gold was first discovered here in the 1960s and led to the famous Gold Hill Rush Museum. This is a museum of the Gold Hill Rush. This is a rubbish bin. This rubbish bin was discovered in the 1970s. It's placed here as a sign. And here is a piece of art. An artist's impression of a busy market day at the top of Gold Hill. This is by Vincent van Gogh, who spent some time living in Shaftesbury and not happy about the amount of noise. He was living next door to some very noisy neighbours. As a consequence, cut off his ear. Intended to cut off his neighbour's ear, but things didn't go to plan. Here are the Meridian guys sorting out their bikes, discussing the next stage of our exciting journey. There's Pete there with his back to us on the left, Paul there with his back to us on the right. Paul, one of the riders who breasted the beast of Gold Hill. Other people in the background there, not members of Meridian, except for Dave, coming up here on the right. Dave Hickman. So a fine lunch has been consumed in the salt cellar, and now the Meridian riders are ready to set off on the return leg of the second day of their trip to Dorset. Here behind the fine village of Shaftesbury. Fine set of old buildings, fine set of old trucks and vans, and now a fine set of old cyclists. There's John there looking at the camera, putting a funny face. And there's me. You can see me. And been a great trip, really enjoyable. Looking forward to the final 30 miles or so back to Pete's place in Ferndown. And yeah, sun's come out, sky is blue, good company, good cycling, good roads. What more could you ask for? And England into the final of a football match for the first time in 240 years. Count your blessings. We've left Shaftesbury, been tonking along at a long old climb with a number of hairpins, and now Pete says it's all downhill until we get back. I don't believe him. That's a typical Meridian Premiers version of the truth. Good pace, good roads, good company, good red trucks. And we just passed into Wiltshire, having been in Dorset. So a ride of many counties. Even the Meridian Premiers get tired going up a hill. So we've paused here. Everybody loves puff and a hand. Car coming. Catch it on film. There's the view.
We are.
There's the view.
Is this the half hill or the one?
No, this is the full one. There's a little half hill coming up.
50.8 miles we've done. About another 12 to get back to base camp. the end of a fine ride, and you'll want to know what the numbers are. So let's go over to the Wahoo. 63.1 miles, average 15.7, ride time 4 hours 1 minute 32 seconds. Food consumed: a chicken and bacon ciabatta in the Cellar cafe, a strawberry milkshake, a Velo Forte energy bar, and a couple of bottles of water. That was it. And a fabulous couple of days with the Meridian Cycling Club. Now, if you live anywhere reasonably accessible to Sevenoaks in Kent, and you're interested in riding, usually on a Wednesday is when the club goes out. There are groups for riders of all abilities, all ages. Then just Google Meridian Cycling Club and you'll find a very welcome. So thanks for riding with us today, and hope to see you out on the road. Take care and see you soon.